So starting seated on our mat. And let's come to the breath. Inhaling and exhaling, nice and easy and slow. Sit in either an easy seat position, or maybe you might want to sit in a fuller half lotus. And coming to the breath, nice and gentle, breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Drawing the shoulders back and down, noticing if there's any tension in the shoulders or in the neck. Maybe even dropping the ear to the right shoulder, and then maybe even rolling the head around the left shoulder, left ear. So just kind of releasing any tension, maybe shrug or roll the shoulders back. And notice any tension in your body as you just start to really connect to the breath. Dropping into this moment. So it sometimes takes a little bit of effort to press the thoughts away, thoughts of the day, thoughts that you have rolling around. Sometimes we replay scenarios in our head or things that we're concerned about. We just can't seem to stop that loop. So I invite you to stop that loop. I invite you to drop into the present moment. And the best way to do that is with the breath. Focusing on the inhales and focusing on the exhales and all the space in between. Practice today is going to be more of a restorative practice, and when we are not moving our bodies as much, our mind sometimes wants to run away. We call it the monkey mind or the toddler mind, just running in all different directions. And so when the body physically slows down, the mind thinks it's time to think. So let's really take control of that. Again, noticing the breath with each passing moment. Beginning with seated cat-cow. Sit up nice and tall, hands on knees, strong, tall spine. Big inhale. Exhale, round and curl, pull away. Really stretch the shoulder girdle and the spine. And then let's do that a few more times. Inhale, lengthen and stretch. Long, tall spine. Exhale, round and curl. If you can close your eyes and that's comfortable for you, I invite you to close your eyes so you can really just tune and dial right into the breath, right into the moment. Our eyes are always searching for meaning. And it is a distraction. So if you can, close them, close them. If not, just gaze downward or at one point. Continuing this rhythmic breath with the body movement. Now turning this into dancing lion, seated, just kind of roll the body from the right to the front and to the left. You can feel this in the inner outer thighs too. If your legs are crossed, make sure you do both sides. So uncross and recross the other way before you reverse directions. Allow your head to be an extension of your spine here in this nice fluid movement. And allow the breath to also be fluid and steady. Reverse direction when you feel like it's time. You'll know. Maybe even sigh some breaths out, releasing more tension and energy out of the body. Reverse the cross of your leg and then continue that seated dancing lion. Notice the difference when you do that. These little things that we change in our practice, in our lives, make a big difference. I'd like to talk a little bit about happiness today while we are practicing yoga. And let's come sit up tall and hug everything in, knees into chest. A little egg pose, round the spine. We'll slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time, using the core muscles to keep you moving really slow. I'm going to turn to the side here just so you can really see what's going on with me. And then raise the arms up overhead, maybe even interlace the fingers inside, out, and reach the legs straight down. For big, big, big good morning stretch. Feel that stretch. Beautiful take the hands and put them on your belly. Let the feet splay open. And notice the belly as it rises and falls with each inhale and exhale. I always think of watching a baby breathe when I am sitting with my breath, and you can really see their bellies, their big baby bellies, rising and falling with every breath. So pure. Moving towards our first posture, and I haven't forgotten about the happiness that I want to talk about. Keep the left leg stretched out long. Actually, curl the toes in and press the heel down like you want to press the foot through an imaginary wall. So feeling the leg lengthen. And then maybe even walk the leg down a little so you can feel the spine lengthen. And then slide that right foot right up inside the inner thigh. If it's too much of an opening in the hip, you can use a block or a pillow, and I'm going to grab a pillow, or even a towel if that's all you've got right now. Because if it's too much to keep the hip open like that, a pillow sometimes is appropriate to not make the knee open quite so much. And so we sit in these restorative postures for 3 to 5 minutes each. You can keep the hands on the belly, or maybe even open the palms up to the sky to receive energy, or perhaps you're needing grounding and you want to turn the palms downward for grounding. So as I sit in this tree posture and you work with the breath, I'd like to share some bit about happiness with you. Harvard did a study on happiness. Actually, there's a movie called Happy on Netflix. I don't get any royalties at all for it. But there are some markers of happiness. And one of those markers is being in community. And so feeling like you're part of something bigger than yourself. Continue to breathe. So even us right here, right now, even virtually, we are in community with one another, transferring energy and vibration, and feeling like we're part of something. So Eagles Haven created this safe container for us to come and practice our yoga. If at any point this becomes uncomfortable, change your position. Don't wait for me to change it to my cues. If you have the pillow underneath your thigh, maybe your hip is opening nice and gentle, and you're ready to release that pillow or towel and letting the hip open even a little bit more. So being in community is one of the markers of happiness. And another marker for happiness is variety. So you've heard variety is the spice of life. And in this study, they concluded that people that do things differently, shake it up a little bit, so to speak, find more happiness. So that means not always eating the same foods, or traveling the same way to work, or doing the same kinds of activities. Even today, we're shaking it up a little, doing a restorative practice instead of a vinyasa practice. So just think about that for a few moments. Think about your own life and how much routine is there and how much spontaneity is there. And think about how you can maybe add a little bit more balance to that. Coming to the breath again, we'll stretch up. Another big good morning stretch. Really feel the spine. Oh, find lots of space in there. And then we'll take the hands back to the belly again. Notice it rise and fall. As the belly is soft, the body can relax more. And as we breathe, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system. deactivating stress, deactivating fight or flight, and inviting in rest. Go ahead and slide your left foot up inside your right thigh, inner thigh, the tree pose, reclining. Again, if it's appropriate to bolster the bottom of your left leg so that hip doesn't have to open quite so much, do that. And if you're feeling like you want a different arm or hand position, please take what's appropriate there. Noticing if you have any tension in your mouth or your jaw, and let's release any tension. So unclench your teeth, maybe rub your tongue underneath of your mouth. Noticing the breath as it enters into your body and as it exits the body. Notice if you're crunching up your face or your eyes, and really soften that gaze. If the eyes are closed, soften the lids. Finding the breath. If it's appropriate to remove the bolster or pillow, allowing the hip to open even a little bit more, go ahead and do that. Perhaps even sighing out the breath with some verbal sighs. Inhale in. If thoughts do come into your mind, allow them to go without judgment. But be in awareness of what is coming up for you. And when you're ready, go ahead and stretch the arms up overhead and the feet out long. Roll over to your right side. And we'll find seated position again. So nice and easy, press yourself up to seated. And we'll come to seated forward fold over your legs. So curl your toes up and in, maybe move some flesh out from underneath. You might want to use a pillow or a blanket or more. Inhale and lengthen the spine, and then bring the chest down. I like to use a pillow here. It really allows me to just relax into the space of the seated forward fold. So again, we'll stay here. Curl the toes in a little bit if that's feeling good for you, but don't overdo it. And notice the back of the body, the hamstrings release and relax. Notice if the breath's getting stuck anywhere because you're folded over in this position, and still try to move it towards your belly. Taking deep, full inhales and deep, full exhales. If it's appropriate, maybe lower the pillow, come down a little bit deeper into the posture. Continuing the breath, strong, slow, and steady, really noticing how it enters the body, how it fills the body, how it exits the body. At the same time, setting your awareness of the thoughts. So sitting up tall, stretching the arms up overhead. Let's take the right hand down and the left hand up and over, side body stretch. And back to center again. And the other side. And up and back to center, feet together, knees apart, bend angle. If this isn't comfortable, you can sit in easy seat again. We'll sit up tall. And once again, it might be appropriate to use the pillow to come down into this posture. So you can come down as low as you'd like. And we're just gonna kind of hang out right here, letting the hips gently open. If you can, take your feet and open them up like a book, or maybe you want to give yourself a little foot massage while you're in this posture as well. Using the elbows to open out the knees to encourage the hip opening. And so we breathe again. So another marker of happiness is giving back to community. And so it's really important for us as humans to feel like we are contributing something and giving back. And that's a marker of happiness. So in this study, people who were spontaneous, in community, and giving back at higher levels of happiness than the others. Continue to breathe, releasing the muscles of your face, relaxing your cheeks and your jaw. When you're ready to come back to seated, come back to seated. Let's take easy seat again. Cross one over the other, sit up tall. Inhale, reach up and take a twist. Left hand on right knee. Right hand comes right behind the back. So you really want to make this like a second spine, so sitting up tall. So we don't want to be all the way back here. We want to sit up nice and tall. And then go ahead and look over that back shoulder. Maybe even come up on your fingertips to create more space, and like you want to inhale on the lengthen and exhale on the twist. Noticing the breath as it enters the body. Inhale, reach up to the sky, look up. Lift the chin all the way up, and now twist and turn the other way, lifting up nice and tall, and taking the twist on the exhale and lengthening on the inhale. And we'll come up again. And hands down to your side. Take the left leg and take it out straight. Keep the right leg bent. And pull away from that leg first. Then turn towards it and then forward fold. We're not going to stay the 3 to 5 minutes in this particular fold, but we'll stay a little bit. If you'd like, you can even take this up and over. I prefer to turn towards it and fold in. I feel this in my lower side of my back and also outside and behind my left leg. And you just want to go to your ability. Once again, you might want to bring your pillow. And we'll breathe into the space right there. sit up tall. We'll take that right hand all the way up, bring it right next to the right hip, and then we'll press the body up and open up the back at the chest and the heart, the hip flexor. Beautiful. Really breathe in that space. And then when we come down, we'll switch sides. So we'll take the right leg out and the left leg in. And once again, if it's appropriate with the pillow, inhale, turn towards your leg, and exhale, fold in. So another marker for happiness is gratitude. So how grateful you are for the things that you have. You'll notice I haven't said money is a marker for happiness because it's not. So gratitude. How thankful are you for what you do have marks happiness. So yogis, I invite you now to allow gratitude to bubble up in your own heart as you breathe and stay right in the moment. Allowing yourself to make a list in your mind's eye of the things in your life, the people in your life, the things about yourself, the things about the world that you're grateful for. This list can go on and on and on. And when and if it's appropriate, you can release the pillow, really melting into that space in your body. Inhale, reach the left arm up to the sky, bring it right next to your left hip, and then press up, open the heart, and hip flexor release. When you come back, we'll do a straddle here. So we'll open both legs out. Once again, you may want to remove some flesh out from behind, underneath. You may want to use a pillow. I'm actually going to use a pillow and a block to start with. And you want to curl the toes up to give yourself more space with a flat-ish back. Continuing the breath, letting yourself melt open. If it's too much, you can narrow the stance, and if it's not enough, you can widen the stance and also fold forward a little bit deeper. Noticing the body opening, the muscles releasing, the tension exiting the body with our breath. So we have community, variety, giving back, and gratitude are markers of happiness. When and if it's appropriate, release a little bit further into the stretch. And then we'll roll up and out of this. Curl everything into a tiny little ball again. Rock or egg pose. Tuck your chin and round your spine. preparing for pigeon pose, there's a couple of options here for pigeon. We can do a really just nice, easy, supported seated pigeon. You can do reclining pigeon, or you can do sleeping pigeon. I will demonstrate all of those and you'll decide which is the one for you. So we'll take seated pigeon first. We just take the foot over like the figure 4 and just lean in. And this might be exactly where you want to be. This is like just a nice hip opener on the right side. If you wanted just a tiny bit more than that, you would take the same shape with your legs, but roll onto your back. Find the space underneath and then draw everything in just a little bit closer, using the elbow to open out the right knee. So here we are in reclining pigeon. So we had seated, now reclined. And if you would like a little more than that, sleeping pigeon uses gravity. So we keep the leg again like this 90 degrees, except we are putting it down on the floor and pressing through our hips so that they're both equally on the earth. So we're not leaning off to one or the other side. First we inhale and lengthen the spine, and then we'll exhale and fold forward. Again, you can use the pillow here. Again, wanting to make sure that we're equal weight in both of our hips. And the more parallel you have this front edge here, the deeper you go into the hip flexor. So, or rather the hip, not the hip flexor. So go ahead and find whichever one of those makes the most sense for you. And we'll breathe through that place. If you're in this sleeping pigeon and you also want to add in a little bit of a quad stretch, you can come up for a quad stretch here, reaching for the back foot and finding this quad stretch here on the left side. Perhaps you want to take it a little more, finding the crook of your elbow, and then if you want to open up the chest and shoulders, we can find mermaid pose, but these are all just options. You take what works for you. I'm actually going to take reclining pigeon. It's my favorite. Taking a few more really long cleansing breaths here. Wherever you are, roll back onto your back for a happy baby. Hands on each foot, and we draw the knees in and the heels up to the sky. You can also take straddle here with straighter legs if that's more appropriate, or just stay right here. If you can't quite grab for the feet, you can also just hold on here or wherever you can. And we want to gently pull the knees towards your shoulders and the feet towards the sky. Maybe you want to rock a little bit from side to side. Once again, the image of that baby with the belly breathing and then grabbing their feet and maybe even eating their toes. You don't need to do that, but we find that image. Second side, make a decision where you want to be, whether you're seated in that little less extreme pigeon, or whether you're in the reclined pigeon, or whether you roll over onto your belly into the sleeping pigeon. That's once again yogi's choice. Maybe you're taking the quad stretch. You'll definitely notice a difference between the two sides. It may be a big difference, it may be a small difference, but there will be a difference. Like everything else, we strive for balance, complete balance, equanimity. Doesn't always work exactly like that, but we work towards that. And as to rest in Pigeon Pose, letting that left hip open, thinking about the balance in your own life as you breathe deeply in and out, feeling the belly rise and fall, and allowing thoughts to come and go without judgment. Thinking about your work and play. Is there a balance there? And your spending and saving. Is there a balance there? How about eating healthy and eating unhealthy foods? Is there a balance? Friends and family, is there a balance? Being active and being kind of relaxed and lazy, is there a balance there? Spending, saving, I could go on and on. Think about that in your own life and where maybe you're falling a little bit short and maybe you're excessive in another area. When we release, everybody back onto your back, wherever you are, feet down on the earth, taking a back bend here of your choice. You might want to take a full wheel. We haven't really opened up the back too much, so it might be a lot. I like a supported bridge pose when I'm doing a restorative practice. I happen to have a block, but you might only have a pillow or maybe nothing, and that's okay. If you do have any one of those things, I like to put that right underneath here, the very base of the spine. The supported bridge feels wonderful. Another option, if you like, you can take the block or the pillow and put it up the long way up your spine. Excuse me. And you would lay it right in the center of your back and lay over it. Allow your heart to shine here and breathe. And just allowing all the thoughts to just go, releasing the body to the earth, allowing the earth to catch you, feeling fully supported in that with the breath. If you don't have a block or a pillow, you can just find a nice easy bridge, pressing the hips up and opening the chest, or even clasping the hands together, rolling to the outside edges and lifting up. So yogi's choice here on the bridge pose, or the back bend here. Just going to lower the lights a little bit and finding the final posture for you is going to be Shavasana, and you will take that either on your back or on your side. Or maybe you want to sit up against the wall or on a block or a pillow. And I'd like to read today's journal entry from this wonderful book that I love. Again, I don't get paid for these endorsements. Well, today is learn to relax, and we just did a restorative practice, so it's appropriate. Too often, out of sheer habit, we tighten up and we tense up and then approach life from that stance of tense. When we have something to do, our automatic response may be to tense up, shoulders and neck strained, back bent and cramped, breathing shallow, but anything that needs to be done can be done better when we're relaxed. So learn the techniques. Program your body, each part of it, to let go and to be at ease. Allow yourself to come into your natural posture and alignment. Learn to relax until moving, acting, speaking, being all become natural from this place of ease. Find activities that help you do this, maybe a hot bath or a massage or sunning, walking, meditating, restorative yoga. Teach yourself to become aware of how your body feels during these activities. Memorize that feeling. Practice relaxing until you can recall that memory and carry it throughout your day. Periodically throughout the day, take a few moments to check your tension levels. If you find any part of you tense, take a few moments to consciously breathe into that space. Visualize warmth and ease flooding any part of your body or even your whole being. Let the tension, the stress, the blocks drain out from top to bottom. Empty your mind of tense thoughts and let it follow your body into calm. Allow your mind to become still of thought. Quietly accept each thought and then release it without judgment, breathing in comfortable, healing energy. Breathe it into your mind and into each cell of your body. Exhale out stress and exhale out strain and exhale out discomfort and exhale out fear. Don't resist whatever it is you're feeling or thinking. Simply accept it, breathe into it, and then release it with your exhale. Just as water cannot pass naturally through a pinched hose. Think about that, yogi. Your vital life force, your breath, cannot flow freely through you if you are cramped and tense. Honor the life force, the breath, that flows through you. Honor it by relaxing and opening to it and inviting it to surge throughout. Yogis, I invite you to stay as long as you'd like here in this place of restore and renew. I invite you just to breathe into this place of quiet and calm. Until our paths cross again, I wish you peace, love, and light. Namaste.